Okay everyone, so today we're going to continue with our reading of wholes, and as part of this process we're going to take a close look at one of the first passages of the book where we learn a little bit about Stanley and his father. And in doing this we're going to look at something called characterization. Does anybody know what that means in a book? Okay, so characterization has the word character in it, right? So it's really just when an author writes about a certain character and through their writing develops our image of the character so we can know what they look like, what they think, and what their aspirations and dreams are. And so as you go through reading this passage, what I'd like you to do is just take a color and highlight, underline, or circle anything that you think tells us something about Stanley or his father. And when you're done, just put down your pen and let me know. Awesome. Okay. So can anyone tell me something that they found about Stanley?
He's overweight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's a physical characteristic of Stanley that we can note. Something else about Stanley?
He was not a bad kid.
Okay. So that starts to tell us a little bit about his morals and his behavior. Mm-hmm. Did you find something interesting about Stanley, Sheena?
Yeah, he has no friends at home.
Okay. No friends at home. Anything else about Stanley that you want to mention? Anyone wants to mention?
Maybe that he was embarrassed because people would tease him about his weight.
Okay. Yeah, so we can kind of see from being embarrassed, from having no friends at home, and from being overweight, maybe he feels a little bit, he feels isolated maybe, or shy, and embarrassed as you said, and maybe not very happy with his situation. Great. How about for Stanley's father?
He's smart and has a lot of perseverance.
Yeah, great. Perseverance. What else?
He didn't have any luck.
Yeah, unlucky. What about the relationship between Stanley and his father?
They sing songs together.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, so up here we see that Stanley remembers the song that his father sang to him, and he has this good memory of that, right? So we can kind of see how they have a positive relationship, and he has this nice connection with his dad.
And even though maybe they talk about how they're so unlucky, but they're all unlucky together and they still all remain hopeful.
Yeah, that's great. So hopeful is something that not only Stanley and his father, but the whole family shares as well. Mm-hmm. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to add to our list? So we have this nice list now about Stanley and his father, right? Two big characters in the book. And so why do we think this might be important to kind of go through and piece out some of the important character traits for our characters?
It can help us see how it looks like in real life.
Yeah, exactly. So it helps us connect to our own lives.
Maybe it helps us see how they're going to change throughout the book.
Yeah. So as we read the book, Stanley and his dad their relationship might change, or they might have a character change. That's good. Anything else that this might be helpful with?
It helps me get to know them. I feel like I know more about them now.
Yeah, exactly. So it helps us. I think it becomes more interesting, right, when we're reading a book and we know about the characters and what's going on inside, and also what how they present on the outside as well. So some of the things that we used to identify these character traits were looking at relationships between characters, actions that characters take or adjectives that are used to describe them, imagery which is used to describe them, and I think we'll see that more as the book goes on, as well as their names and nouns associated with the characters, like inventor or student. So we have a little acronym here that we can use and chant to remember this when we're doing characterization later on. So R is for
Relationships.
A is for
Action and adjectives.
I is for
Images.
and N is for
Names and nouns.
Woo!
Brain.
Great, thank you guys, great job.